On October 8, 2001, Milan's Linate airport, one of Italy's busiest hubs, bustled with the activity of a typical Monday morning. Amid the foggy conditions, two aircraft were preparing for their journeys: Scandinavian Airlines Flight 686, a McDonnell Douglas MD-87 bound for Copenhagen, and a Cessna Citation CJ2 private jet destined for Paris. At 8:10 a.m., Flight 686 began its takeoff roll on Linate's main runway. Unbeknownst to the pilots, the Cessna Citation, after being cleared to taxi to the runway, had inadvertently entered the active runway through a service road. The low visibility of less than 200 meters due to heavy fog concealed the presence of the Cessna from the MD-87's crew. Seconds later, tragedy struck as the MD-87, traveling at nearly 270 kilometers per hour, collided with the smaller jet. The impact tore the Cessna apart and sent the MD-87 skidding across the runway.
The collision caused the MD-87's left engine to detach, igniting a massive fire. The aircraft continued its uncontrollable slide until it crashed into a baggage handling building, causing further destruction. All 110 passengers and crew aboard the MD-87 and the 4 occupants of the Cessna perished instantly. 4 airport ground workers in the baggage area also lost their lives, bringing the total death toll to 118. The accident left the world in shock. Families and friends of the victims grieved, while aviation authorities scrambled to understand how such a disaster could have occurred. Linate Airport, a vital gateway to Milan, became the site of Italy's worst aviation accident in history.
Italy's National Agency for the Safety of Flight, ASV, launched an immediate investigation into the disaster. What they uncovered was a chilling combination of human error, poor infrastructure, and outdated systems that created the perfect storm for tragedy: fog and lack of ground radar. Linate Airport lacked a functioning ground radar system, which made it impossible for air traffic controllers to track the exact positions of aircraft on the taxiways and runways in low visibility conditions. Confusing signage. Investigators found that the airport's taxiway markings and signage were outdated and poorly maintained. The Cessna's pilots, unfamiliar with Linate's layout and misled by unclear instructions, mistakenly entered the active runway instead of holding at the correct taxiway communication gaps. Miscommunication between the air traffic controller and the Cessna's crew further compounded the error. The controller's instructions were vague, and no cross-checking occurred to ensure the Cessna's location. The investigation revealed systemic flaws in Linate's safety measures and procedures. These issues, combined with the foggy conditions, led to a catastrophic runway incursion, one of the deadliest in aviation history.
The Linate Airport disaster became a turning point for aviation safety, particularly in Europe. The tragedy spurred significant changes in airport operations and infrastructure. Mandatory ground radar. Airports across Europe were required to install modern ground radar systems to ensure air traffic controllers could monitor aircraft movements in all weather conditions. Improved signage and markings. Linate and other airports redesigned taxiways and signage to meet international standards, reducing the likelihood of confusion for pilots. Enhanced training. Air traffic controllers and pilots underwent stricter training to handle low-visibility operations and prevent runway incursions. Runway incursion mitigation. New protocols, including mandatory readbacks and cross-checks of taxi instructions, were implemented to prevent similar incidents. The Italian government also faced legal and public scrutiny. In 2004, several airport officials and employees were convicted of manslaughter, highlighting the accountability needed to prevent such disasters. Families of the victims were awarded compensation, but no monetary sum could undo the loss and grief caused by the tragedy.
The Linate airport disaster stands as a stark reminder of the catastrophic consequences of systemic failures in aviation safety. It exposed vulnerabilities in airport operations and highlighted the need for vigilance, modernization, and stringent adherence to safety protocols. Today, Linate Airport operates under vastly improved conditions, and the lessons learned from the tragedy have influenced airports and airlines worldwide. Yet, the memory of that foggy morning in 2001 remains a somber testament to the importance of safety in aviation.
The Linate Airport disaster was not merely an accident, it was a call to action. The 118 lives lost on that day underscored the fragility of human systems and the need for continuous improvement. While aviation has since become safer than ever, the legacy of Linate endures as a poignant reminder of the responsibility borne by all those who navigate the skies.